Pope Francis was more of a immigration dove, I guess, talking about having mercy on immigrants and things like that. And J.D. Vance, of course, is immigration hawk. He says, no, we don't need to have illegal immigration. If someone's in here illegally, we need to deport them, et cetera, et cetera.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle. I'm joined today by White House reporter Haisten Willis.
Hey,
and
Jim.
Haisten, we've had a lot going on with the Trump administration, always a new adventure, but the president announced that the Justice Department is looking into a certain Democratic outfit. Walk us through what some of the allegations are and what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, you're right. Every day is certainly an adventure in the Trump administration. You really don't know what's going to happen. And
right.
So one of the big stories happening right now is that Trump is going to go after ActBlue, which is a Democratic fundraising platform. ActBlue has been kind of a solve for conservatives for several years. They think this is basically a shady way to raise money, a way that people can illegally contribute money to politicians. There's a lot of laws about who can donate money to which politician, where that money can come from, that kind of thing. They say that ActBlue is very loose on this kind of stuff. One thing they were doing was allowing you to donate by credit card, but not enter the little security code, the 3 digits on the back. They said that could be used to basically somehow circumvent knowing where that money is coming from. If you don't know where the money is coming from, the money can come from anywhere. It can come from a foreign terrorist organization, come from a foreign national who's illegally barred from donating to U.S. elections, et cetera, et cetera. ActBlue has fixed that. You have to head to the 3 digits now. But again, according to Republicans, there are other ways that you can still donate. You can use Venmo, PayPal, I think some other thing that they're saying is still basically unsecured. So Trump is trying to crack down on this. He's released an executive order trying to target it doesn't necessarily say ActBlue, but ActBlue is obviously the target of this, trying to crack down from them and try to see what's going on there basically with that platform.
So I'd imagine Democrats don't like this very much, and there's been a lot of different things that the Trump administration has done. The Democrats have kind of framed as retribution against political opponents.
I mean, of course, there's always 2 sides to every story. Certainly in Washington, there's 2 sides to every story, right? So yeah, the Democrats say this is like, Trump might call it a witch hunt if he was a Democrat, I guess. There's nothing to this.
Right.
This is not necessary. This is targeting. Obviously, again, the executive order is very much going after ActBlue, which is a Democratic fundraising platform, one that's used to fund the other political party, right? So they say this is all a political thing. And we'll see how this thing plays out, though. What Trump has directed is for the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to do an investigation, release a report to him. I'm sure that will come out publicly. So we will see if they really have anything concrete on this or if this is just something that's more about politics.
So very interestingly, Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor of the Atlantic magazine, appears to have once again entered the chat, but this time perhaps overtly invited by the president. Walk people through what I'm talking about here.
Again, it's always a surprise with Trump. You just never know. Actually, earlier this week, too, Trump, I was at the White House. Trump just appeared, as far as we knew, on the north lawn of the White House, just sort of walking around with Secret Service agents. They had cleared out Lafayette Square. All the reporters of the White House got word and rushed out there and watched him walk around the grounds, wondering what's going on there. He said it was going to be some flagpoles put in.
Right.
So again, it's always a surprise. So that's another story. Though you're asking about Jeffrey Goldberg from the Atlantic. Yeah. So Jeffrey Goldberg, people said he kind of Forrest Gumped his way into this. He was added to a Signal chat with a bunch of prominent Trump administration officials. J.D. Vance was in there, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. They were talking about plans to strike the Houthis. He, of course, kind of sat back there and waited.
Right.
And then after the strikes happened, announced, hey, they added me to this chat. Look how insecure this is. They're reckless, whatever. He is very much an anti-Trump person.
Sure.
And this was a big scandal. Everybody calls it Signalgate now. They're talking about Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, could still get fired over this, et cetera, et cetera. So Trump, surprise announced he's going to invite Jeffrey Goldberg, of all people, into the White House, into the chat, as you said, to have an interview with them. So we'll see how that goes as well.
I mean, I guess if he's going to end up in all these chats, you might as well just directly invite him.
Yeah, right? I guess so. I mean, it's a very Trumpian type of move, right? You think he would be like scared, I guess, of Jeffrey Goldberg, because Goldberg also was behind the whole suckers and losers thing that Trump supposedly said about military veterans. Trump vehemently denies it constantly, still today, even though that was during his first term. So that's who he's inviting in, though. And he says something like, I accept it as a challenge, and they can't do that much damage to me because I won the election anyway. So we'll certainly see how this story comes out.
So Vice President J.D. Vance has been traveling abroad, and as part of this overseas travel, he was one of the last people at least in an intimate setting, to see the Pope, who died on Easter Monday.
Right. Yeah. Anyone who's spent any time online over the last few days on somewhere like Twitter has probably seen all these different memes coming around. That, J.D. Vance killed the Pope, right? But he saw him on Easter Sunday. There's a few pictures of them talking to each other, and then lo and behold, the Pope passed away early the next morning on Easter Monday. So yes, he was one of the last people to see him.
And while Vance is a Catholic convert and a devout Catholic, mass attending, but he and the Pope did on occasion clash on policy issues like immigration.
They did, yeah. So that's been one of the things that's kind of been interesting about really all of this. Vance being pretty devout Catholic, although a Catholic convert. He didn't grow up Catholic. Right. He's, I guess, of Scotch-Irish descent, which is not traditionally Catholic, but became a Catholic, I think, in 2019 or 2020, in his 30s, and is now a very devout Catholic. But he doesn't necessarily always agree with the Catholic Church. The big thing has been immigration. Pope Francis was more of a immigration dove, I guess, talk about having mercy on immigrants and things like that. And J.D. Vance, of course, is an immigration hawk. He says, no, we don't need to have illegal immigration. If someone's in here illegally, we need to deport them, et cetera, et cetera. Got into a few different spats with not just the Pope, really, but with the wider Catholic Church. Right. He accused the Church of basically accepting money from different NGOs to house migrants, and said they basically had a financial conflict of interest to be doing this. So again, had a spat there. He was asked about this after the Pope passed away, and he kind of took umbrage to the question, which he kind of does sometimes. He said that you're making the death of the Pope about American politics, right? The Pope is not an American figure at all. Of course, he's over in Italy. This is not what this is about. We should be talking about other things. But we'll see how that goes too. They're going to select the new Pope, of course, within the next few days, and we'll see how it goes with him and Vance.
Thank you, Haisten.
All right.
You can read Haisten and the rest of our political team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.